Hey gang, so I got something really special today. I mean, I know you've seen the thumbnail, so let's get right to it. It's the Mesa by LIC in machine finished titanium. Okay, so if you've paid attention to the channel at all, you know that I am just beginning my journey with spinners. And now when I say spinners, I don't mean average spinners or spinners you can just kind of get from the store. I mean the very special spinners that you can only get from very small batches of people who are amazing at creating them. And today, the Mesa is exactly that. Now, if you want super detail on spinners, absolutely check out Fidget Nerd. Zach is, as far as I'm concerned, the master when it comes to dissecting spinners. He's probably forgotten more than I will ever learn about spinners. Now, having said all that, we are still gonna open it. I mean, I'm still here to review it. I'm gonna give you my experience as a noob in the spinner world. And so, am I delighted? Am I surprised? Am I disappointed? We'll find out. I mean, do I sound disappointed? All right, let's get this on the lens and have a look. It's the Mesa by LIC. Let's go. Okay, here we go with the Mesa. Now, I mean, listen, there's not a lot to go through with this. In terms of just the review, it's pretty much what you see is what you get. But we'll go through the steps anyways. I think that's only fair, right? Every fidget deserves its kind of chance at all the categories. So let's start with the first one, playability. All right, so this has one feature to it. It's a spinner. It is, this feels perfectly balanced, very low judder. I don't really get any vibrations from it if I'm balancing it properly. If anything, the only errors come up from user errors. So my lack of skill with the spinner still. Even balancing on my fingers, sometimes I'm not quite sure where I'm supposed to go, where I'm supposed to move. But like, I mean, this thing is rock solid. So yeah, it's just gonna keep going forever. It is so smooth, and these little shaved flat edges just make it a dream to kind of grab and spin. Okay, so just to compare, this is a love nugget that I had stonewashed by a friend of mine, Michael Din, who's a fellow Canadian, so it was kind of nice. I didn't have to worry about sending this across the border and customs and blah, blah, blah. I really like stonewashed or machine finished because I can't do the polished. It's too slippery for me. So this was a really beautiful job, by the way, by Michael. So if anybody's ever looking, this guy does a fantastic job. But anyways, so let's compare this with the nugget. So as you can see here, the Love Nugget has a rounded top, and I guess like the Mommies too, like the Mommy would be the same thing. Obviously the Love Nugget is thicker, but all that to say, just this rounded shape is pretty amazing already. But this flattened shape is fantastic. I love sleek. Sleek is really, really nice. And this is kind of perfection in that category. In terms of this particular shape. And look at that, like it doesn't even move. Wow, that was from my, literally as I'm saying it, that was my finger, guys. That was not the spinner. Okay. So let's get into sound. Well, listen, it's a spinner. The sound is all based on the bearing. And this one's pretty quiet. So there are other bearings that I can try. I now have a bearing tool, which I will be eventually working with. But again, for the sound itself, this one just ships with this kind of quiet bearing. So if you're expecting something loud, you might want to reach out to Jamie and specify that. But this typically, I believe this comes pretty quiet. Well, next category, haptics, which again, there are none. This does have, though, I mean, there is a feeling to it. And it's a very soothing feeling. So if we want to call haptics just any kind of feeling that comes from the fidget itself, any kind of interactive sensory input, I guess, this definitely has something to it. But again, these are sort of designed to not really have a whole lot of haptic feel behind them, other than when you're spinning. This is the feedback you get. If you just kind of like gyro, like, you know, if you rotate it, you get this gyroscopic feel to it. So that's one way to get haptics from a spinner, is give it a spin and just give it a little twist. So ergos, this, what I love about these LIC spinners is they feel just as good to hold. Like, there's such an experience, I find, an ergonomic experience of just holding it and almost using it like a worry stone. You've got the dish here, very, very deep, which is really nice. Your fingers just sink right in, so it's so nice and deep and wide. You know, your fingers know exactly where they're going to go, and they don't really slide out at all. And again, this is just nice to feel, like, because of this super rounded shape. I've had times where I've been watching TV and I forget to spin it, and I'm just doing this with it. Precious. So this is absolutely, I mean, an ergonomic delight, to be honest. Okay, let's look at the weight. So in grams, we're looking at 71 grams, or 2.5 ounces. So this is titanium. I've heard that tungsten is an experience, a very heavy, wonderful experience. Same with copper. But titanium itself, I like that little combination. Like, it's a really nice kind of middle ground between heavy enough that you don't feel like you're going to lose it, but not so heavy that it, you know, puts a strain on your wrist. Okay, internals. Listen, I mean, again, this is a spinner, so I know I've created this format that breaks down all these different features, which we're not really going to get from a spinner, but it gives me an excuse to go over these different things. So we have here, we've got our grip, and we have a little, you know, this extension post here. Oh, get in there. There we go. And we've just got it inside. Again, we've got our bearing, which, as I said, I'm probably going to try popping that out and changing it into something else when I get a little braver. For now, though, I'm good with keeping it the way it is. Again, we have these 4 holes drilled out, assuming for weight, to just kind of bring the weight down a little bit, but while still keeping the strength, the integrity of the actual spinner itself. So that's kind of it for internals. We'll just put it back. Final thoughts. Yes, that is my final thought. Without a doubt, if this is something you can afford and you are first looking at spinners, you're considering spinners, if you're already into spinners, you obviously know all about this. In fact, you probably know more than I do. But if you're like me and you're just sort of exploring the spinner world, this is one to get. This is absolutely, if you can get one, just check out the drops. I know the price of these jack up massively after a drop, because there's only a limited amount of these that come out, and who knows when Jamie's going to create more. But if you have a lot of money, buy one secondhand. If not, just keep an eye in the group, in the LIC group, and wait for another drop, and then just, you know, do your best and get in there, because this is a sensational spinner experience. For my first high-end spinners, getting an LIC spinner was just eye-opening. And now it's led me down the path to others, which I will review later, other types of spinners and stuff. But this is, you know, these two are fantastic. Beautiful spinners. Okay, gang, that's it. Thanks for watching.